Law. I'm just gonna go through these real quick and see if anything is different from what we've seen already. Oh, it includes arcane surge information and this too. Not the full hover, but partial hover. 10% more cast speed, 20% more mana regen rate. So yeah, Arcane Surge, Heart of the Storm, very good. Or not Heart of the Storm, Force of Will. Like 3k mana is like 200% increased effect, right? So 30% more cast speed, 60% more mana regen. Almost offsetting Might of Matter's downsides. Blood Mage already nerfed from what the leak was. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to peek through real fast and look for. Yeah, they didn't give the full hover. We know what the cooldowns of Time Snap and Time Freeze are, but I'm really curious what the cooldown of Temporal Rift is. Because I feel like 4 seconds would be too strong in PoE too. The rest of this we've already seen. It's all neat. Titan. Is Rucksack still in the game? It is! Bro, what is the fucking Rucksack? What the fuck? It's real. Alright. Ooh, they nerfed Stone Skin. It used to be double. They nerfed Stone Skin. They nerfed more life. Bro, I was talking about playing Titan for like 3 days, and Titan gets 2 nodes nerfed? That's some bullshit. Alright. Dude, this inventory spaceship is so weird. I wonder if hulking form can be strong enough that you actually basically spec into a worthless node to get to it. Yeah, so ancestral boost, 20% more damage and area, not good enough for the ascendancy. I think it's fine. I think it's fine for the support gem because you're just gonna put it on a skill you don't use very often, so it's always up. But like, I thought it was gonna be like 40 or 50% because of the big cooldown. So Hulk the most broken thing ever? It might be. You need to see the full passage rate before you know how broken this is. If not otherwise specified, the aftershock will do the same damage as the additional effect in the same area. So yeah, the aftershock is just a full repeat. Unless it says otherwise. Crushing blows cause a heavy stun on enemies that are primed for stun. Bro, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, normal enemies are primed for stun when they have at least 40% heavy stun build up. Magic enemies are primed 80%, rare 70, unique at 80. It just means you proc the heavy stun earlier. So instead of building up to 100% heavy stun, you build up to 40% and then it stuns. Yeah, it's like calling for stun. It basically, you stun things more easily. That's the end of it. One thing though that I am unsure of. Let's say a target has 0% stun threshold. You leap sim onto it. You generate enough stun threshold to reach 50%. Will crushing blows mean that stuns it? Or does it mean the next hit will stun it? Because if it's not until the next hit, then I don't like it at all for what I was thinking about. Warbringer massive nerve. I gotta go see it. We'll get there soon. Heavy stun. I mean, Warbringer looked totally fucking broken. Heavy stun. Different thresholds. Very high. Players cannot be heavy stunned. That's neat. On the enemy's heavy stun, they cannot actually cancel mobilized. Physical and melee is easier to stun. Let's look at the bonuses. That's how it's always been for stun as well. Warbringer. Let's see what changed. Armor breaks the same. That's the same. That's the same. That's the same. 40% base block. Oh ho ho! There. Yep. 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 40% instead of 50%, and then also 35% less. So instead of it being 4 ascendancy points and 12 passive points and you're fucking done, you take 3/4 of the damage you take is avoided. Instead, you need 4 ascendancy points, and then instead of 50% increase, you need 200% increase. So you need 4 times as much investment into block, which makes sense. The numbers before were stupid. From where? I don't even know if it's possible. But yeah. How do you get that? There's a lot of points in the tree. The tree's huge. But yeah, this makes a lot more sense. Good, good. Dude, I love how Titan and Warbringer both just got absolutely fucking suplexed into a different reality. I don't think I'm playing melee on League Start. Alright, Deadeye. Tailwind. What the fuck? That is so much better than what I thought Tailwind was going to be. Now it actually makes sense. Like when they mentioned this node in like the playthrough, they said you move faster, and I was like, damn, Tailwind is only movement speed now, not movement speed and skill speed, which in old PoE was just an action speed multiplier. It was called action speed. I was like, damn, that's so much worse. And lose all Tailwinds on the same node instead of being on the back node, it fucking sucks. But 1% move speed and 3% skill speed and some evasion. Like if you're sitting at max stacks, 30% skill speed, it's attack cast speed here. Is it a multiplier or is it not? Fancy word for both. Okay, so it's not a multiplier. It's not action speed. It's an increase. So not super broken. Actually, total dog shit. Literal trash. Garbage. Get away from me. Lose all Tailwind hit? Fuck that. One spark from off screen hits you, lose 10 stacks. Unless you have the ability to gain Tailwind stacks like old PoE1 could with Detonate Mines on left click, where you just like rapid fire to 10 stacks. Losing all Tailwind on hit is like so banned. I'm just gonna run around on a fucking mount instead. Alright. Aside from that, there's a chance that when you frenzy since they go to max charges, cool. Benefits have a chance to be doubled. Yeah, I mean, like, you can proc, like, a fucking, like, 5 Frenzy Charge, like, Rain of Arrows that does 10 million damage, and then the boss is going to walk 2 pixels to the left and take no damage. I'm not a big fan of Deadeye still. Still putting that in F tier. Like, the only reason it's not guaranteed F tier to me is this Frenzy Charge stuff might be super OP. But F for Fub Gun, amen. F for the Fub. Alright, 50% more fast charges gained. Wasn't this 100% before? I thought it was. Life flasks are permanent and cool. Ooh, I think they buffed. Was this 1 meter before? I don't know. It's 1.5 now. Double poison duration. It actually is grants 5 passive skill points. I thought that was like a placeholder. So yeah, the world where I see Pathfinder like being really strong is if poison is strong, poison prolif, double poisons, permanent flasks with enough investment on the tree and on your flask roll that your life flask is permanent. Because, I mean, recovery is good in PoE too. But if it's not that, if it's not exactly that, I'm not sure. Oh wait, these things also give exposure too. Consumes from your mana flask that explodes, lightning damage, and exposure. Permanent HP recovery from Eternal Youth, yeah. Well, I think infinite life flask is like the reason for Pathfinder now. It's like the main reason, I think. Blood Mage apparently already got nerfed. 1% per 40 instead of per 20. That's fine. It was 300%. Now it's back to like 150 when you're full overflowed. Makes sense. Still probably pretty good. Infernalist. Anything changed here? Ooh, yep. They already nerfed the ES node. Instead of 4, it's 8. Still strong. Before it was like 1 per 4 made no fucking sense. Like that was wild. With how much percent increase ES is on the tree, like with the way it was before, I think this node would have given you more ES than every single piece of gear combined. Like it was pretty good. Yeah, I really have no idea how good Demon Form is. I like the idea of playing Archmage Stormweaver right now. Mind Never Matters Stormweaver Archmage. What is the exact number of Demon Flame? 1 per second. So like 1 per second you're in demon form, and the point of capping it at 10 is so that you take a sustainable amount of degen that you can make it last forever. Whereas without it, you'll just, it'll just scale 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 until you die. Witchhunter, Culling Strike, Decimating is 5 and 30, Culling is 5 and 30. Oh shit, they nerfed Culling Strike though, mechanically. In PoE1, Culling Strike is checked after the hit is applied, not before. So if the target is at 70% and you hit it to 30, with PoE1 mechanics, it would die. With PoE2 mechanics, you have to hit it again after it gets sub 30. Makes it a lot weaker. Just based off like your hit size. Like if you're hitting like, yeah, it's a pretty big nerf to Cull. But if you're hitting really fast with like cluster grenades, you won't even tell a difference. If you're hitting for like, 20, 30% chunks, it's a big difference. It's 1 extra hit to kill every single monster, basically. Good news, I'm shooting an SMG. Yeah, good thing your crossbow is fully automatic and shoots fucking rockets. It means you won't go on the first hit. Yeah, like if you chunk a target from 100 to 30, and then your next hit culls them, it already would have killed them in the first place. Because, you know, you did 70% of their life. It's like you already would have culled them. That change to Culling Strike definitely downgrades Witchhunter from insane to like a little less insane. I still like pops though. Pops are cool. Gemling guy. 10 quality plus 1 spell. I have no clue how much this less cost of skills is gonna be good. Maybe it's a thing, we'll see. Like are we Archmage fucking Legionnaire guy? Like what is this? Yeah, Gemling was already nerfed from its original showcase a while back. Instead of getting like 21, 22 max res total, you're gonna get like 15 total. So instead of getting like 7 of each, you're gonna get like 5 of each max res. Still good. Yeah, quality there from 12 to 10. 5 sounds crazy. The thing is 5 max res, if you don't have any other sources of max res, is the same as like 4 to 5, right? It's 20% less damage taken. But the reality is it's not spread among all 3. You have a decent amount of agency over which ones you get. So you'll likely be able to like pick to target one for certain boss fights. So going all the way to like 90 max res is obviously insane. What is the inherent bonus? So strength gives you max life, dex gives you accuracy, int gives you, I think, mana as an inherent bonus. These get doubled. If you were to have a stat on like your gloves that says like deal 10% more damage per 1 strength, that is not inherent, and that would not get doubled. So int stacking Gemling or strength stacking Gemling for life, who knows? But the thing is, if you go for this strength stacking node here, what did you just get? You got the ability to use all gem types easily with 7, no direct power gain. 8, inherent bonuses doubled. If you're stacking strength, for example, okay, you got some more life. Like enough more life that probably it's like roughly like equivalent to like 4 to 5, maybe a little better. But like, okay, neat. Is that worth 4 points? Maybe. Maybe not. And then you like come over here, get 3 extra skill points or some shit. I really don't know how good 3 skill points is gonna be. That's the thing I'm just really not sure of. I don't think it's gonna be good in most cases. Need a tri-stack? Oh, just like full tri-stack? Life, mana, and accuracy? I mean, the reason tri-stack is a thing in PvE1 is because it's like Shaper's Touch Gloves. You already have 9 skills. What are the odds you're just like dying for an extra skill to be insane? You already have 9. Do you need 12? Maybe. Who knows? Like, I think the coolest thing about Gemling is gem-studded. Being able to use 2 of each support instead of 1 of each. I think this is like the make or break. If this is insane for your build, then the Ascendancy is good. And if it's not, I'm really unsure about it for the most part. Decent mini guy, it could be. Invoker, meditate, channels your researchers, yes. Can over yes to double its normal maximum. Channeling ends when you take damage, your energy shield is doubled to its normal maximum. Cannot be ZBS already doubled. Or if you have no yes. Yep, nothing new there. We've already seen this stuff. Unbound Avatar, inflict ailments, reach max, consume it. Yeah, for things like Unbound Avatar, without knowing the numbers, it's impossible to know how good this is. Invoker stands out to me as the ascendancy to play if you are proccing a bunch of things. If your goal is to play like some cast on the crit, cast on shock, just full setup where you're just trying to proc like crazy, that's Invoker, because you get a bunch of extra spirit without having to use a scepter. And then you get more energy, both of which are very important for trying to use a bunch of meta gems to proc a bunch of stuff. Yeah, the evasion to PDR can be really insane, for sure. I don't know what the last point would be. Like more energy, full evasion, yes, stuff up here. LED expression is here. Yeah, there's just like a random proc, right? It could be good, but it's down here, behind this thing. You could skip the evasion to PDR stuff, I'm not sure. It just depends how much evasion you can really get. How does meta gem work with gem slots? So you socket cast on shock as the active gem into one of your 9 skill slots. You can then link as many active skill gems to that as you want to, up to 5. But you don't want to do 5 typically. I think 1 or 2 is probably the most you do. Because for each one you link, it makes the energy required higher. The whole point of meta just means you can link active gems in the support gem slots to that thing. So like 9 slots, you put in Cast on Shock, you have 8 left. You can link like Arc and Spark to that Cast on Shock with like 3 support gems for lightning skills. And then you're blasting. But yeah, this Ascendancy, if you're playing skills like a heavy meta skill based build, good, otherwise unsure. Acolyte of Chayula. All looks the same as what we saw earlier. Yeah, darkness looks fucking terrible to me still. Like the entire darkness side, it looks so bad to me. I don't get it. Like maybe I just like I'm misunderstanding it, but it reads like so weak with gear in game. If there's a way to increase darkness somehow, it can be good. But if you only have 600 darkness, you're just like, if you're sitting at full darkness, you're level 100, you have 600 darkness, and you've taken Grasp of the Void and Embrace, your Ascendancy is effectively you spent 4 points, you're disabling all spirit, you have no reservation, no buffs, no anything, and you get 30% as extra chaos, which is not as good as what spirit would have given you for free. And you spent 4 points for it. But the benefit is, if you take damage, you have 600 extra life, basically, for 4 Ascendancy points. So if you're taking damage, it's not good, and if you're not taking damage, it's not good. Like with the numbers here, I unless you can increase darkness somewhere a different way, I'm not a fan. But yeah, 5 and 6. So for those of you that weren't here a few hours ago, we looked at a video of them fighting Zeshchula on this build, and it looked pretty clearly to me like Purple Flames of Chayula are not independent durations. They refresh. So with Lucid Dreaming, you have 10-second duration buff that gives 14% of damage as chaos. And you spawn, we saw Into the Breach hover as well, and you spawn 1 fragment like about once every second. Which means, on average, you know, if you can pick up every single flame, this is permanent 10 stacks. With that said, I don't think it's going to work that way. I don't think it's going to work that way. Like when the game actually comes out, I think they're going to be independent durations, not refreshing. Even if they work that way right now, like I think that'll change. Because I mean, 140% extra chaos is fucking crazy. If you maintain it permanently, that's just so high. Yeah, like as independent durations, I think it's still really good. And then like reality rending is just like 25% extra chaos on average or some shit, with occasional bigger procs for procking, I don't know, bigger poisons, whatever. Chayula's Gift, kind of weird. Definitely Into the Breach, Lucid Dreaming, Instant Leech. Leech goes to ES as well. Could be a little guy, little blaster. You don't get the Leech from flames. So there's a red flame on the ground. You step on it, your character receives 7% life per second for 1 second in the form of Leech, which means that Leech modifiers will increase that amount in theory. And like the mana version would become instant if you had like this thing up here. It's just some recovery basically. But the main thing is purple is like the main thing here. I mean, honestly, red is kind of good too, because like if you're really sitting there chilling in like a fucking battle of attrition, having these things constantly spawning is a pretty good amount of recovery. 14% mana and ES. Well, it'll be 14% mana restored as mana and ES, not 40% of ES. Which is a important distinction if you have like 1k mana and 10k ES. How far is the spawn radius? That's what we didn't really see. When looking at the boss fight, there was like 5 seconds of continuous gameplay where I didn't see a single one spawn. But when he walked around, when he discovered new areas, there were things there, which could imply they spawn not near you and you have to go find them. And if it's always like that, then that's clunky enough that like, fuck that, you know? Not really sure. We'll have to see how it plays out. You see him spawn during the fight? I'm sure you see him spawn at some point. But I didn't see a bunch spawning, like, constantly. But yeah, this one's kind of neat. Kind of neat. So I'm playing Infernalist Minions on launch. We're going 1, 3, 4, and 10. Half-life reserved for ES and Spirit, and the DR. Rolling only a little bit.